All right, Science 8. I hope everybody's doing well. We're going to wrap up this third kingdom here, and then we're going to get ready for an exam. I think I'm going to post it Monday morning. So we'll wrap this up, review assignment or activity on Friday over the weekend, and then get ready for the next test. Nice short section. So let's talk about Roman numeral 3, kingdom Protista. We've already reviewed the kingdom Archaebacteria, and we've also reviewed the kingdom Eubacteria. So this is the last one of the first three. This is the kingdom Protista. Let's take a look at the characteristics and then we'll do some examples. Real short video, not a lot of your time. Here we go. Now watch this. This is the first time Archaebacteria and Eubacteria were prokaryotic cells, which means they have no nucleus. As we enter the third kingdom, the kingdom Protista, we're now going to move up to the big time regular cells with a nucleus, which are called eukaryotic, and it will remain this way throughout the rest of the kingdoms. This is the advanced cell on our planet. Okay? These cells have a nucleus. If you're not going to remember that, write that down. Next, most are unicellular, but some of them are multicellular, some of them are colonial. And you're going to see in a second one of the characteristics. This is an incredibly diverse group. It's kind of like anything that didn't fit into the other 5 kingdoms, they put it in here. In fact, some things like algae used to be in plants, they moved them around a little bit. But most are single-celled, but there are some examples of multicellular and colonial. Remember, that's cells just living together, not really dependent on each other. Next, in terms of feeding, they are autotrophic. Some of them make their own food. Heterotrophic. Some of them get their food from an outside source. And some of them, now this is cool, are both. They're autotrophic or heterotrophic, depending on the availability of sunlight. Remember, it's much easier to make your own food. So those organisms that can do both will prefer autotrophic, but when there's not enough light, they'll just go straight into basic feeding patterns. It's pretty neat. Okay? Next. They reproduce asexually for the most part, but some of them do modified versions of sexual reproduction. Next. This group, like I said, and I wanted to get this into your notes, is incredibly diverse. There's all kinds of different things. I mean, seemingly when you watch these examples coming, they don't even look like each other. You're like, how are those related in any way? But, again, based on these characteristics, they're all in the same kingdom. Next, sometimes this is referenced or called the garbage kingdom. And that's what I was talking about, where if it doesn't necessarily fit specifically into the other kingdoms, it's relegated or dumped into the kingdom Protista. So let's take a look at some examples. I know if we were doing this for BSSA, we had to go real quick because I don't know, there's a whole lot of questions about this. So, examples. Anybody know what that one is? Now look, this one is green, and it's got this long thing right here called a flagella. So if it's green, what can it do? That's right, it can make its own food. This is called the Euglena. And what do you think both means, if you look at that previous slide? This one, if sunlight's available, because it has chlorophyll in it, will make its own food, and if not, it definitely has a mouth area down here where it can consume other single-celled organisms. So it can do autotrophic and heterotrophic behavior. Next. Now this is just a cartoon version, just because I think it's cool. Now this one, you can see it actually has 2 nuclei, a big one and then a smaller one in the dip, and then this is the mouth or pharynx area, and then there's little cilia all over it, little hair-like structures. And this is a mover and a shaker. This guy can go. Anyone know what this is? Anyone? Anyone? This is a paramecium. Paramecium. Next one. Now, this one's cool. No defined cytoplasmic shape. The plasma membrane can change shape. So you can see it's got all these little arms. They're called pseudopods or false feet. And it can cycle or use cytoplasmic streaming and cycle cytoplasm into each of these feet and then extend them and then catch up. So this thing can move and encircle and engulf things. You might know what this is called? This is an amoeba. An amoeba. Very common protist. Okay? It's a shape changer. I already said that, but I want to make sure you get it in your notes or you at least can see it. Next one. Ooh, now this one's cool. Now what you're looking at here is red blood cells. These are red blood cells in both of these. The protist is this little guy sitting inside the cell, and you can see them here and here. There's one busting out right there. Does anybody know what that is? It's a disease causer. It's pretty cool. The name of it is Plasmodium. Plasmodium, that's a genus. Anybody know what it causes? Anybody know what disorder attacks red blood cells? Here we go. Wait for it. Wait for it. Malaria. Plasmodium is the protist that causes malaria. Now, it has a very, very involved life cycle. I put it in here just so we can see it. Okay? And it involves both human beings and a specific mosquito. So let's take a look at that. All right. Now, you can jump into this cycle anywhere. Let me come on this side right here. This is very important. This is the mosquito that transmits this disease or malaria. It is called the Anopheles mosquito, and only the female takes a blood meal. The males don't spread this. So the mosquito bites humans and then injects Plasmodium sporozoites. Okay, those travel to the liver and start to mature and reproduce. Liver cells burst and then release Plasmodium into the bloodstream, where it attacks red blood cells and they burst, and this is the deadly part. You really can't carry oxygen if you don't have enough red blood cells. And then once those are released back into the bloodstream, mosquito bites human, picks up Plasmodium cells, then they mature in the mosquito, and the cycle continues just like this. And you can read about that on the internet. Most of you probably heard about it. So that's Plasmodium. Next. Look at this one. Now, I showed you this in class when we were doing colonial organisms. This is a group of cells living together, but not dependent on each other. This is called colonial living, and this is really like a regular 8th grade example. This is Volvox, and it is colonial. Volvox. All right, the last one. Oh, I'm sorry, this is not the last one. Does anybody know what this one is? Anybody know what that is? That's algae. Now, you may not know, generally we think of algae around here as like pond scum or an algal bloom, but it also includes, look at this, seaweed, and anybody know what this is? Maybe the coast of California? That's kelp. And all of these are autotrophic. Now, some algae are single-celled. Obviously, these guys are multicellular, so a lot of diversity in this kingdom. And now the last one, and I think I showed you this one before too. This is pretty cool. Look how pretty those are. Anybody know what those are? Those are diatoms. And they are the most common protists in all waterways, fresh and salt. We talked about how much food they contribute to food webs and food pyramids through their autotrophic behavior. They are sometimes called phytoplankton. You probably heard that word. And this is cool. You see all these geometric shapes? How's that happen? Their cell walls are made of silica or glass. It's the same stuff that makes sand. Pretty neat. All right, that's the kingdom Protista. That wraps up our brief review of the first 3 kingdoms. So please click on the assignment below and turn that in, and then look for our review activity on Friday, test coming Monday. Take care, guys. Hopefully I'll see you sometime soon.